What's up, everybody? Everybody that's out there, let's go left to right. We're gonna wait a little bit on JD. JD is gonna be here a little bit later. So we're gonna talk about a few things before we get to the NBA trade deadline. Oh yeah. Yo, what's up, A Surfer? What's going on? Are we talking about Debo? FD, hope you see. This is Colorado Sports Dude. This on eBay ends in about 30 minutes, but getting up there on price. To all of you, when I see this, Debo Samuel 2019 absolute signature. So let me look at this card. This is a 1 of 1, huh? Now you got me interested. Welcome everyone that's here. How y'all doing? Again, JD is going to be here a little bit later, probably about 15, 30 minutes. We're going to talk NBA trade deadline. That should be a real fun conversation. But now I'm interested in what Colorado has here as far as this Debo card. So we got a 2019 absolute signature Debo Samuel. Let's see here. Auto 1 of 1 black. Okay. Let's see here. Welcome everyone. Welcome. We got OG Car Scammer. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? Rolling with FD. I appreciate you. Smash thumbs up. Please do. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you are seeing this for the first time. What's up, A Surfer? Look at Michael Thomas is in here. Getting to catch the show live. It's a pleasure having you here. It's a pleasure having you here. It's great. So, Colorado Sports 2, tell me more about this card. I'm looking at him, trying to find it. It's a 1 of 1 black, huh? Yeah, I don't see a 1 of 1 yet. All right, we got Michael Day. Thoughts on Marvel cards? I feel like it's a great play and very low key to the card community. I want to do more lives to talk to people that collect Marvel cards and just see what they're thinking as well. I can see the collectability in them. I've been trying to do more to learn more about Marvel cards. A lot of them are rare, numbered, with actor autographs on them. So I understand the collectability. I just need to know more about each card. What would make them well sought after if you saw them at a show, or there are certain characteristics that I look for in sports cards that is very clear to me. I've been around sports cards a long time, but Marvel cards I'm still trying to learn about. This is the research that we talk about before you make an investment. Learning about what you want to invest in will be real. It's where it's all at. OG Card Scammer, 2022 year of card shows. Card show Saturday, big game Sunday. OG Card Scammer, where are you going to the show at on Saturday? Please let me know. Big game is on Sunday. Also, let me know in here who do you have winning. I can tell you I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals Some people may think I'm crazy, but I think Joe Burrow may really make a name for himself. Colorado Sports too. How y'all? It ended for $900. Was on auction. Didn't have the money. Ended for 900, huh? Let me see here. Interesting. That's a nice car. I think a lot of Debo Samuel. I think a lot of people know that. I always go with sometimes the eye test, right? You look at a player on the field, and if you see something completely different that you haven't seen in a long time, it makes me turn my head, makes me pay attention. Look at Sold. It could be there. I will. I'll look at Sold. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's a nice card. Oh yeah, BGS 9 with a 10 auto, sold for $910 with 27 bids. Yeah, this is a nice card. Very nice. Oh yeah, absolute. Very nice card. Congratulations to the winner of that card. Yeah, I think you got something special there. Edgar Flores, and we're rolling. I appreciate you, Edgar. Always appreciate you. Check out Neo. What's going on Neo? Michael, please tell me. FD, might as well face it. I'm addicted to cars. Congratulations. Keep going live. Stay blessed. Not stressed. I'm excited. Have an entire weekend. Wife and kids are gone. I'm betting big. There you go. Marva, serial numbers and PMGs. Yeah, I've been watching, looking at PMGs, old school 90s inserts. Yeah. I remember Marvel cars back in the 90s. I spent a little time on them then. It's interesting to see where they are in the market right now. It'd be interesting to see how they go going forward. Hello, everyone. Jeff, what's going on with the Detroit logo? Very cool. I spent some time in Detroit. What's fun time? Car show Saturday in Portland. Okay. There's a Las Vegas show. I did see that. Afternoon trade night, Super Bowl, Joey B win MVP. I think Joey B is gonna make a name for himself. Please let me know what you all think. And this is my first impromptu live. I'm happy that everybody is here. It's the first time that I've said almost like in the middle of the day, like I'm gonna get on tonight. It's something that I wanted to do more and more, and I've been talking about it the last couple of weeks with my family, and it's good to be on here right now. It's good to be with you all. Edgar, Marvel cars are still in its infancy. I agree with that. I've said that to several people. Just from the research I've done so far, graded comic books still rank supreme. Yes, they do. And what's interesting is when I've been out talking to people that collect comic books, that seems to be an exclusive a community away from Marvel cards, and then you have a small sector that kind of intersect. But I went to a recent event where there was only comic books, and I think I saw one small table with cards on it. So I'm going to continue to do more research. Cards and comics, I really appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for the style comment. I want this to be just who I am. When I'm on a live with you all, if you see me in person, same person. I'm not saying anybody else is not. I'm just telling you about me. You see me at a card show, same person. If I'm looking for comic books, same person. If I'm hanging out with friends, same person. So, and I always wanted to, with this channel, show how I've collected over the years, some of the things that I think about, the steps that I go through. I really don't make impulse decisions. I put some due diligence into what I'm thinking about, roll some numbers up with it, look at different variables about the whatever I'm thinking about investing in, and then I make a decision. And then I kind of rethink that decision a little bit and make the final decision. Albert, what's up? What's up? Thank you for rolling. I appreciate it. Do I think hockey, it's Hero 3, do I think hockey will ever catch up to basketball or football? Or is that just wishful thinking? I don't know in America if hockey, you have your segments of the country. Well, I've lived places where hockey is very big. I've visited places in America where hockey is very big. I think you'll have those markets where hockey is big and it will continue to be big. And those are the markets that kind of pump out a lot of the talent. Uh, I know if you're on the East Coast, upper East Coast, hockey is quite important to the community, the high schools that are there, the colleges, the universities that are there. I think hockey will remain popular in those areas. But until you can get hockey on main channels and a population watching hockey matches, I think it's gonna be kind of difficult. But I mean, it's like soccer in America. I think soccer is a growing sport. And I've lived in places where soccer is very big. I mean, you can really can't go anywhere if you don't see someone playing soccer in the park or you see leagues. So I think it probably continue to be something like that. But I tell you this, I have a Gordie Howe autograph um, sweater, old school sweater from when it's a Mitchell and Ness. But I admire Wayne Gretzky. There's several players. We talked about Chris Chelios the last time we was on. There are Mario Lemieux. There are many players that are legendary and that I admire their game. So hockey has a spot with me. Colorado Sports too. Black Galaxy, man, way nicer than the picture. On hand, that think would pop one bet. Well, I bet. I have the Jerry Judy Black Galaxy rookie. No, not on 1-on-1. I mean, those are, this is a great looking card. Let me pull this card up. Hope y'all can see it. Can you see this? It's a great, look at that thing. That's a beautiful looking card. Again, congratulations to whoever won that card. I haven't really shared, and I don't have it with me right now. I wish I would have pulled it out. But a few months ago, I got a Deebo Samuel Prism Gold out of 10 jersey patch autograph for a similar price as this card. And I so enjoy that card. I think Deebo is going to be a nice player for quite a while. San Francisco has to find a way to keep him healthy because playing him at wide receiver and playing him at running back, we don't know what can happen. And as a fan, I want to see more and more of him. So we'll see. Sonny, we keep good vibes. Thank you very much. That's what we thrive on. This is time to have fun in here, right? Well, we're with our people. This is our community. It's time to have fun. Enjoy ourselves. And if we do have if we disagree on certain things, it's healthy disagreements, that's what it's all about. What I love about lives is that it brings different thought to the table in your comments and allows me to think about certain things throughout the week that someone has presented here. And that has happened several times. So I appreciate it. Hero 3, do you think hockey will ever catch up? We talked about that. What's up, love? What you collect? How you doing? What's going on in Alaska? What's up? You gotta let me know this. What's going on? I admire when people travel. It's a beautiful thing. You see different things. You eat different food. You may hear different ways of talking, different dialects, I guess I would say. You may hear different languages. Please let me know what you're doing in Alaska. What's going on? Okay, Drew said he picked up a Herbert light blue prism color match PSA 9 last night for a good price. Pop 100 with 50 higher. Great card. Did well for yourself there, Drew. I think Herbert, Burrow are two players that we're going to talk about for quite a while, barring no injuries. Herbert, to me, is a different player. When he releases the ball, you see different. I mean, that ball is moving. And it's accurate. And he reads defense as well. I think he made a great pickup. OG says people are crazy. On 1-5, dude was throwing debris into oncoming traffic. You glad to be home? Wow, this is crazy. New Florida's going there for a Valentine. Okay. All right, OG, you doing it right. A day, okay, a surprise. All right. Oh, I'm thankful that you are here. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. All right, Michael. Neo Cars and Comments talks about Marvel and shares some sport takes on. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've been on with Neo a few times here, and he gives great insight into what he's seeing from a numbers perspective. Also, what he likes to collect and why. He always has a great conversation. His content is great. If you haven't checked Neo out, please check him out. Marvel Cards Collecting and Investing is another great channel. All right. I'll check that channel out. I haven't seen that channel yet. I would definitely check it out. It's a great recommendation. Let me take a note on that. It's a great recommendation there. All right. Take a recommendation. LA Hobbyists. What's going on? I'm happy that you're here. What's happening? It's good to see you. I appreciate you being here. Again, this is my first time kind of jumping on midday and saying, you know what, I'm gonna do a live tonight. And then JD is coming, and we're gonna talk the NBA trade deadline. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I think it'll be great. But thank you, LA Hobbyists, for being here. Where's your next card shows? Oh, the LA Proper card show is coming up February 19th. I think it's gonna be a blast. One of the gentlemen that sponsors that show is going to be on the after party after the Super Bowl. Everyone will get a chance to meet him if you haven't met him already in person or seen him on social media. But What's King will be here. He's What's King on Johnny King. He's What's King on Instagram. You can look him up on Instagram, but he will definitely be here for the show. And we'll be talking a little bit about the car show on February 19th that's coming up. That's kind of the next place I'm going to be at. Let me know what shows you all have around you. I know OG, you talked about Portland, but let me know everybody else what car shows you're going to. And also, Love What You Collect. Let me know. I know we talked a little bit about Philly. Let me know more about Philly. How's the Philly show? I can't wait to go to a Philly show or Boston show. I think that'd be real fun. I've only been to Philly one time, and I've never been to Boston, so that'd be fun. Cards and Comics. I started in 1986 and was smart and only bought football. Okay. Stayed away from those crappy basketball cards. They were real crappy in 86, huh? Now, I don't think that was a good set, the 86 Fleer. That was pretty bad back then. You know what I tell people all the time, though? I remember being young and the 86 Fleer, I didn't know where to buy it at. Like, there weren't a lot of hobby shops back then. And where I went to buy cards, like where I went to buy Jerry Rice's rookie card and places like that, was retail stores. And I don't remember seeing Fleer in those stores. So I'm sure I would have purchased packs or boxes of them. Let me know if you were shopping back in 86, 87, 88. Where would you find basketball cards? Sydney, we stay rolling. We're rolling. Gotta be. Thank you very much for being here. Ryan, as a Canadian, I'm happy hockey cards are cheaper than other sports. They are. We talk all the time. I meet up with different collectors, and you can find Wayne Gretzky on-card autos for affordable prices compared to if you were looking for a Jordan, if you're looking for a Brady, and nowadays, even if you're looking for a Steph Curry card. But this Wayne Gretzky stuff is very nice. Very nice. Sydney, FD, Marvel, Metal, think base would increase since PMGs have. I've looked at Metal. I would think so. I don't want to fully make recommendations until I put more work in and understanding the marketplace and what cards you would think what levels will pull after something like the PMGs have done very well. But I would think so. But Sydney, you let me know what you see going forward. I'll definitely do the same as I put more time in understanding what's going on. We got Joseph Gomez. Hockey has fallen below soccer. True. So many Russian and Canadian players that it's hard to prospect the sport. Needs more McDavis to push the. I can agree with that. The collecting side. From what I've seen, I can agree with that. This is a similar question I've had with collectors of UFC cards. You know, I'm used to boxing, and I'll say this all the time. Where a boxer like Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, these fighters fought for years, right? You could follow him over 10, 15-year career. A lot of UFC fighters have shorter careers, and I've asked the question, how does that impact their card prices? We know that the GOATs of the sport, typically their prices increase over time. It could be a great increase. It could be a slight increase. But even if you see a slight increase on cards over time, if the rest of the marketplace is staying flat or slightly negative, is a big win. So I always ask the question when it comes to UFC cards: how do I find that next prospect, or how do I understand what's happening in the future when I'm buying now? It's always a question. Jordan, even though you hate on the Lakers so much, Jordan, I don't hate on the Lakers, but let me just say this. So this is before JD gets here, because we're probably getting into something else. JD is a huge Lakers fan. Everything I've said has been true. Everything that I said in the past when the Lakers season first started, when Carmelo and other players were kind of doing the talk show circuit and talking about the season. I mean, if you've watched basketball for a somewhat of a long period of time, and I've met some people who have an insight for a short period of time, you could see what the Lakers were going to do or not do. So, Jordan, I don't want you to think that I'm hating on your team. I just tell the truth. They're an older team. They're going to have more injuries. Their coach really is not allowed to coach. LeBron James is the coach of the team, and they don't play defense. Anytime you say that Bradley is the defensive stopper, that tells you that that team does not play defense. But I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the healthy debate over the Lakers. There are other teams that we're going to get into hopefully tonight too to talk about. The Lakers will be one of them. Will be one of them. But without further ado, our guest today is JD the Collector, and he is here. Let's welcome JD.
Oh, what's up, FD? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm my bad. I'm a little late, man. I'm at the rush home.
It's all right. It's all right.
Everything?
Everything's good, man.
So what's up? So you already talked about what happened today, or not yet?
Have I talked about what, sir?
About the trade line? I mean, the trade line.
No. I haven't gotten into that. I was going through some questions here, and Jordan was talking about the Lakers, and we were just talking about. He made a comment about me hating on the Lakers, but I told him when you got here, we would probably talk about that more and more and more.
All right. So well, one thing is they didn't make a move today. So how do you feel about that?
I didn't expect for them to. I don't know what they would move. Right? Russ is not moving anywhere, so I didn't expect for them to do anything today.
Well, they don't have any pieces to move anyway, though. You know,
yeah.
Only piece they can really move is THT. But I mean, what are you going to give up for him?
Yeah, what are you going to get for him? He's kind of, he has some nights where he plays pretty decently. Then he has other nights where he shoots poorly from the field. So I'm pretty sure his value is like probably mid-level value.
Let me ask you real quick. Would you have trade AD if the price was right? Or you're just going to stick with him?
I think he's also a player that I don't know what you get for him. Probably not. I mean, I don't know what would you get for him?
I don't know.
Like I'm looking tonight and I'm shocked. Like AD did not make the All-Star game.
Well, he was hurt, so.
But they're a player like KD's on the All-Star game right now.
Oh, that's right. Well, he got voted, but I think AD's performance this year wasn't All-Star caliber. I mean, I was surprised a few people that made it, like Karl-Anthony Towns. I was actually surprised. Draymond.
Yeah, that did surprise me a little bit. But Karl-Anthony has put the work in. He's elevated his game probably as much as he can.
Mm-hmm. So that's the thing with the big men. They take forever to develop too.
Yeah,
they got to find their rhythm. They got to see how they fit in. They got to have the right players around them. So yeah, I'm honestly surprised that he actually made the team out of all the big men in the West.
So Drew asked a question here: who won the Harden trade? I gotta say, I personally think that Brooklyn won the whole trade.
I'll let you go first, and then
Yeah.
Say what you gotta say, and then I'll go
Okay.
because I got a lot
Well,
to say
I
about
think
that.
Brooklyn won the trade by how much was given up for Harden, especially at this point in Harden's career, and
Hmm.
at the probably the in shape level of James Harden right now.
I 100% agree. 100%.
Yeah.
I honestly think they gave up way too much for James Harden, and they're saying that he might opt out because he still has a year left. But they're saying he might opt out of his contract, and then who knows? Then Philly's really in the bind because they gave up. I mean, people don't like Ben Simmons, but he's a solid player. Like he could change the game if he really puts his mind to it. But I think if they would have just gave up Ben Simmons and Steph Curry, I think it would have been fine. I think that would have been an okay trade. But giving up Drummond and then the 2 first-round picks,
Yeah, it's a lot.
man,
It's a lot.
that's a lot for James Harden. Like you said, he's not in shape. He's been hurt, a hamstring injury. There's a lot of
I
things
kind
to
of
think
think
about.
that hamstring, and we'll see here the next couple of days. I think that was a phantom hamstring injury.
But it's funny when you posted that clip earlier how TNT was saying that like, oh, he's gonna play, he's not hurt anymore, and KD's just sitting there like,
It
yeah,
just
he's
like,
gonna.
yeah, not saying a word. But notice how KD did not pick Harden to be on the All Star
Oh,
team.
at the end, I know at the end they between him and Rudy Gobert, and he picked Rudy Gobert.
He said, "I need a big
I
man in
mean,
the paint." Yeah,
I think it comes down to is like James wasn't. I think James wanted out. You know, I think he did the same thing in Houston. He wasn't feeling it, and he just said, you know what, I'm out of here. And well, I mean, what's KD gonna tell him? No, like just stick it out. We can win something. I think if his heart's not in it, keep him.
well, the word is that Harden had a lot of problems with Kyrie Irving. The
I've
whole I'm
heard too.
playing only certain games, and then he said he hated Kyrie burning sage in the locker room.
That was one of the stories. I didn't hear that one.
You know, these guys are like roommates, man. It's like, some of the things you would think they would bicker about or talk about would shock you. And why somebody
I
wants
know,
to go to another team and be traded would just blow your mind.
but it was crazy though, just because I thought KD was gonna bridge them together. I thought him and KD had a good relationship, so I was like, okay, KD's just gonna keep them all afloat, keep them together, and then see what happens. But I guess Harden was not with the whole Sage thing, the whole playing road games. I don't know. We'll see, because after this year, there's gonna be more reports of what really went down.
True.
And we just got to
And
wait. This is what.
then probably 15 years from now, we'll get a documentary or some short movie about what really happened.
Yeah, like a good 15 minutes, because they only played 16 games together.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
Well,
I
you
don't
knew
think
that
they heard
lineup, just like the Lakers. I mean, you knew that lineup wasn't going to play. You remember the Lakers' first night lineup? We haven't seen that lineup really again.
I don't even remember. I just know it was AD, LeBron, and Westbrook. I don't remember the other two. I think it was.
Go ahead.
I don't remember. No, I don't remember. Go ahead.
It'd be interesting to see when Carmelo comes back.
And you know what's crazy about Carmelo? He's playing really well.
He is. Yeah, he is. I will give you yes.
Maybe it's just the opportunity he's getting or something, but he's playing above what I thought he was. I thought he was going to hop the bench, play 15 minutes. No, he's actually contributing. And that's shocking, but I always say
he's outside dancing the perimeter and they're shooting jump shots. But he's letting people penetrate, do their thing, and he's outside waiting on the ball.
And that's the thing. As long as you can shoot in this league and be consistent,
you can stick around.
You're going to be in the league
Portland had him a lot more taking the ball off the dribble, doing certain things. They were even asking him to rebound. The Lakers aren't really asking him.
When you got LeBron and AD, what else do you need to do? Just hit the shot, and then you get. If they really work things out, they'll be okay. But I heard that there was reports that the coach lost the team, that nobody wants to play with them anymore. That whole team just in shambles right now. So we'll see, man. But I hope they make the playoffs healthy. They can make a run. We'll see, because when they're healthy, I think when LeBron and AD is 100%, I think they can make a run. It depends what seed they're in, of course, but still.
True.
A healthy AD and a healthy LeBron, man, You never know because the playoffs is a little different when you actually start playing in it.
Hmm. So Jordan talks about the Atlanta shows coming up, and it is coming up in February. But JD, you made a recent trip to Philadelphia. Tell us about it.
So I did. So my goal this year was to go to a show out of state every month. That's the goal, right? So first January I went to Boston, which is cool, which is a nice little vibe, and then the Philly show. So let me just explain why I'm doing. I mean, I've already told you why, but I work 6 days a week, so I'm leaving Saturday, get there Sunday, spend a little time there, and then come back. So it's a quick 23-hour trip. But the reason why I go is I want to meet different people.
Okay.
Um, you know,
Hmm.
meet different people. Network obviously. Try to see what the vibes like in different cities. Just introduce myself, build relationships. See what type of cars I could see out there. All those things that like when we talk, we always talk about like just changing the conversation of the hobby, right? It's not
Yeah.
always about the card. It's
Hmm.
always about you. And that's the first thing we talked about is about you and me. And we have a little interview coming up soon. Um, but my whole thing is I just wanted to see what it is outside of California,
Understood.
and just see like what, and just build. I feel like networking on social media can get you so far. And remember when I told you I introduced myself to you on Instagram, whatever. But
Hmm.
I told you I want to meet you personally so you can understand where I'm coming from because of
Yes.
the respect factor. And I
Hmm.
think as long as I can put the face with the name, it helps out both parties, right? When we first met at the trade night at Burbank, we had like a 30-minute conversation. It
Yeah.
felt like I knew you forever.
Yeah. I
And
remember that.
and and it was just a cool vibe. You're like, oh, I've been waiting to meet you this whole time. I was like, no, I wanted to meet you the whole time because I love what you're doing. The message you're putting out there. It's not always about the card. It's always about the
Yeah.
story behind it,
The
and
story
that's why.
behind it and the people. That's what it's all about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's why I like. That's why I gravitated towards you. The conversation's different, totally different from what it should be. But everything change. Everything's gonna change eventually.
I always tell people I joke around that maybe sometimes I bring a Chicago vibe to LA. My father was the person who introduced me to the hobby, and he was
Hmm.
huge on building relationships and talking to people. And if I'm standing in line for an autograph, I should at least look in front and behind me to understand who are the people around me and why are they collecting and what are they getting signed and what's the story behind that. Like he was huge on that. I told a story to my girlfriend one day that I went to my father when I was probably 13, 14, somewhere in there,
Hmm.
and I wanted a Willie Stargell's autograph. I want to go to a show and meet him. And he told me, I'll take you to the show. But the only way I'm going to take you to the show is if you actually talk to people. Like, we're not going to go in and just get an autograph and then leave. Like, that's not going to happen. And as a kid, you don't get it, right? So I remember being like, why does he want me to talk to people? Like, what difference does it make? As long as I get in and get what I'm there for and get out. But the older I became and the more and more shows him and I went to together with, each other, I realized what he was talking about. Very soon. Very soon. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself in Philly, man. I've been to Philly once. It was a nice city, but I've never been to a show there. It's so now did you see more vintage out there? What did you see compared to what you
Oh,
see in LA?
it so it's more vintage, like you said, more hockey, but I don't know if you saw, I just got my PSA sub from I just got my sub from PSA. It was all 1980s and 1990s basketball. Oh my God. A lot of people were walking up and actually like were buying it. I was shocked because I don't know if you see YouTube channel like the YouTube shows on YouTube with the East Coast, right?
I
The
do.
East Coast shows are always packed. I'm
Yeah.
always surprised how packed it is. But the thing with the East Coast, and well, you're from Chicago, but you guys understand the love you guys have for the game, like
Mhm.
for basketball, football, baseball. When you talk to somebody in the East Coast, you could just tell how much they love their team, their
True.
city. You could
Passion.
just
Yeah.
passionate, and
Yeah.
the thing that we're missing the West Coast is the passion about behind it. I'm like, this guy gave me a full conversation why he liked the Sixers, why he loved AI so much, Charles Barkley, all those players from the Sixers. I was like, man, you guys really. like we talk about it here in LA because we got Kobe, Shaq, and everything, but you could just tell, like, this is why I love AI so much. This is what he did for us. This is what he
Mhm.
did for the city. You could just tell the love behind it. And then when they show me their cards, and there's always a story behind the card, I was like, man, these people are so passionate about their
Oh
team.
yeah.
Like that's and I didn't realize that Philly, um, all three stadiums are right next to each other. It's like a triangle. You
Mhm.
got the Wells Fargo Center, whatever wherever the Eagles play, and the other team, the Phillies, like they're all
Mhm.
right there. And
Mhm.
they told me there's a time in October where you're able to go to each game, like each that Sunday, because obviously football. You could watch the Eagles play. You could watch if the Phillies make the playoffs, you could watch them. Then you could watch the Sixers. So I was like, man, and LA is not like that because there's Dodger
No.
Stadium.
Yep.
You know how LA traffic
All
is.
spread out. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could just tell the different vibe in the East Coast, and like they're so passionate. The cards that they're showing, it's not like everything we see out here. You see modern basketball, you see Steph Curry, you see Kobe, all those things, and then you see hockey. I kind of learned the hockey market. I was like, so there's a full roll of this hockey. I was like, there's
Mhm.
no way. Coming from the West Coast, like, there's no way this is gonna sell over here. And what do you know? Throughout the whole show, people were just walking, buying, trading hockey cards, and I was just like, wow, like, is this? That's why I like going to these shows. You open your eyes to new different things.
Yep. Yep.
And and
Yep.
and that's the thing and then when I come back over here, is this a total, you're so used to everything. So when you see a different type of conversation, it just opens your mind to different things. Like, okay, this is what I could possibly look into. But you,
It's great.
it's a lot of things that you see that you wish you could experience every week. You know, I want to
Well,
go
I
to.
tell you this. I can tell you this: that walking a show here is
Mhm.
different than when I was walking a show in Chicago, or when I went to a show in St. Louis when they used to have them. It's very different. The amount of Lakers that is on the table here it still blows me
Mm.
away. Still blows me away. But it's all good. I mean, we're in LA, so I get that. But it's still kind of it like shocks me a little bit when I walk in. I'm like, oh wow, okay. And especially if you're looking for something else, like you got everybody looking for Clay and Draymond and Steph, but then going to the Bay Area, you would still think, even being from Chicago, I would think you would still see more of that on the table here in LA. But a lot of times you don't. Um, but it is good, like you're saying, to go to different cities, experience different things, talk to different people, and get their perspective on things. Because you talk about, like, I grew up in Chicago, so you're talking about like the '82 Sixers. I remember that team. I was real young,
Mhm.
but I remember that team. I remember when Barkley first came in and how big he was when they called him a round mound of rebound. I remember when
Mhm.
AI first got drafted and trying to make his way up to the finals and then playing the Lakers, and we all thought like they have no chance against the Lakers, even though they won game one and then got swept after that. I remember that stuff, so I can imagine being out there and being at a show that you have that kind of history, and then on that side of the country, hockey is huge. So
Mhm.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Not
I
surprised.
I j- I just can't wait to I can't wait till I like venture out more. The next show
Oh,
I
you
want to
will.
go to is, but man, but
Well, where
that's
you
the
want to go
thing. We
next?
were,
What show are you thinking about? What city next?
uh, there's another show in Philly, but I really don't. What I like to do is I like to, get the deals on the airlines because that's the biggest thing. But
Mhm.
the Vegas show, I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to make a pit stop and just see how it is because
Are you
I
talking about
wasn't
the
really.
Mink? You talking about the Mink
Yeah,
Collective or which one? Okay.
yeah, that one. I want to go over there and just see how it's like in Vegas too. I never been to a Vegas show because I heard Vegas shows are really, really crazy too.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I
then,
think you're gonna see some.
um,
You definitely gonna see some heat on it. Have you been to the Dallas show yet?
not yet. I think
I have not. I
let's
haven't
say,
either, JD. I haven't either.
man, all the stories I hear about Dallas is it's like going to Disneyland.
Yeah, so I think that's also what you're gonna see part of in Vegas as well.
Oh man, that's what I heard too. I don't know if you remember it, but they just had a show recent. It was in October, the Las Vegas card show, and I heard that show was like amazing. So, and then this one's being backed by eBay, right?
Hmm.
It's being sponsored by a lot of big names. So I can only imagine just the vendors that are going to be there, the people, the cards. Like, is this going to be a crazy market? You're just
And I
gonna
think we're
walk
gonna see
in.
more of that. We're gonna see more like corporate branding coming to shows. Um, and you'll probably see more people traveling, some influencers traveling. You'll see collectors from different places coming to another city to either set up or walk the show. I think you're gonna see more of that in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
and
nice, man. It's gonna be nice.
you know what, one thing that's I know this is going to be totally off topic, but I want to just tell you right now. I really appreciate. I wanted to tell you this in person, but I really appreciate what you're doing because your content is just still it's just totally different. Like you said, going to different places and all that, and just the perspective that you have going to a show is totally, I think, should be the right way the hobby should be
I
going
appreciate you
about.
saying that. I appreciate you saying that. I've developed how I think about things and what I'm doing just over time, over years. My father used to always ask me if I thought if my style was a little bit different. I did not know. I never really thought about that before. But when we started putting the show out, the feedback that I got from people, they spoke to that, and I want to be genuine, man. This is when you see G and I out. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
The pre-work that I talk about in the episode that I'm putting in to understand. Like some people asked me about hockey before you came on, and I told them I don't want to talk out of term. There are some things that I've understood so far about the hockey market, but I'm still putting in more work to understand what is going on. Some people ask me about Marvel cards. I can understand the collectability of Marvel cards, but I'm still putting in more work to really understand where is that market headed and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't make that up, right? That's the work that we put in. I would advise every collector to put some work in to understand what they want to collect and why, or even what they want to flip and why. Like why are they purchasing that car and what's their plan? What do they want to do with it? That kind of stuff is very important. It's not glamorous though. It's not glamorous to go through cars and look at data and look at some graphs on PSA site or another site. You got so many different sources. You got Car Ladder out there. You have Alt. You got 130 Point. You got so many different places you can go to understand how is this car performing, and then what is that dip telling me about the future. And then I love numbers, right? So I like to get into that stuff. Even if you don't, just spend a little time. Sometimes you got to run to the pain or run to something that may be your weakness to get a little bit better at it, to spend some time in, and then understand what you want and why. I was at a show recently with a collector that was probably somewhere between 13, 15 years old. And they were talking about they had some PSA 9s, but a lot of people don't want PSA 9s. There's still a market for PSA 9s. And even if you have a car, if you're a young collector, and I'm talking about young as far as your collecting life, right? Not your age. Because to me, age doesn't mean anything. I've met some people who
100%
are
agree.
younger age who are well versed in the cars that they're collecting. So if you're younger in your collecting age, and you have a car that is a PSA 9 that has a high pop to it, that's where you start. Don't get down. All I got is this. We all started somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I say this: every $500,000 and $1 million car at one point was worth $100.
Mm.
But if you stay with that philosophy, you don't know what you could do later, or what you're collecting for. What do you want to do with that? Are you collecting for your retirement? Are you collecting for your kids to go to college? What are you doing? Because there are successful stories of people who have done amazing things with their collection, and even
Yeah,
holding on
I
to it can be an amazing thing.
I 100% agree. You know, I just wish that the stuff that you and me talk about in the hobby was probably the first. I wish we were the first people that dropped content. Then the conversation would have been more different. I think just the way that we go about our content is just deeper than cards. And I just feel like if that was the way we started the hobby, just instead of like, oh, I got this $10,000 car, blah blah blah, the hobby would be a lot different place because everything's just worried about the cash flow, what card I have here. You see when you go to shows like, oh, I got this expensive card, and they
Mhm,
just think it's like the coolest thing in the world. But
mhm.
if we change the conversation, it's just I just feel like the hobby could expand more. It's not about egos
I agree.
anymore at that point.
I agree.
But
Yep.
it's hard to change the conversation when everybody's just dumping the same content every day, every week. And I don't want to be on the record to say this. There's nothing wrong with that. I
No, it
appreciate it,
isn't.
but
There isn't anything wrong with it.
I just don't want nobody saying anything that I'm hating anything. But I just feel like they just gotta understand like the stuff that you, me, and other people are bringing out. Like there's more to it, and that's what
Mhm.
makes the potential of the hobby more bigger than what like the potential in the future is just gonna be amazing. Can you imagine somebody watching our stuff right now is gonna be inspired to do something like that, and they can take it to a whole nother level?
I hope so. That was the sole purpose of me starting the channel. I would hope
Hmm.
so. And I don't care if you're a collector, and I've done this intentionally. I've gone to a
Hmm.
show and only spent my time in the price bins. I'm looking for cars under 100. I'm looking for cars under 20. I'm looking for cars under 10. Right?
Hmm.
You can still win there, and I've done that intentionally. I've done it intentionally in some episodes. I've seen stuff on the table. No, I'm gonna go over here because this is what I say, JD. If you had $1,000, right? It's very simple to walk into a car show to me and spend my money on $1,000 on one card or two cards
You can spend it in 10 minutes,
in 10
maybe
minutes.
less.
But where is the savviness to take that 1,000 that you have or whatever the price point is and really jump into some stuff where no one's looking? Like actually spend the time, sit down, go through something. No cards
Hmm.
before you got there and understand, wow, I just pulled out a huge card. If you pull out something that's marked at 10 but worth 20, you just won, right?
Hmm.
People don't think about it like that though.
Yeah, but it goes back to this the stuff they see every day on YouTube, right? They say, "Oh, I got this $500 card. I'm gonna flip it, blah 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 blah." But they don't understand that there's more to see. It just keeps going back to there's more to the hobby than people
What much more.
realize.
Much more.
Way much more. Like I remember when I first started, I was going through the dollar bins, like okay, dollar, dollar, dollar. So let me just tell you my story real quick. So I used to when I started, I went through the dollar bins. Obviously, I got lucky enough where I collected the right things at the right time, and it jumped up. I took all that to Burbank, right? I sold the majority of it, and when I was collecting, it was cars that I liked, I enjoyed.
Okay.
I didn't even care about flip. I mean, I did care about flipping, but there was more to it. So I bought all these cars. I got a good amount of money back, a lot of good money amount. That's when I started getting to grading, so slabs, PSA, and all that stuff. So I just want everybody to know that there's everybody has a journey to it. You ain't got to start at the $100,000
That's
cars,
right.
whatever. Just 5, 10, $20 to flip that to like some PSA stuff, graded stuff. But be smart about it though. Like you said, do
Mhm.
your research. If you're not gonna do your research, then there's no point.
That's
You're just
right.
gonna be stuck at step one, and then you're just gonna have stroke. And that's the thing I'm seeing right now is people are so upset that they lost the money, blah blah blah. I was like, it shouldn't be about that. It should be
Mhm.
more about the love of the card. I love Kyrie. I think if you guys follow me on
You do.
Instagram, you
We've
guys
talked
know
about this. Yes.
I
Yes.
love Kyrie, so I don't care what he does. I mean, if he does something stupid, then I'm gonna jump off the ship. But I'm just saying, like, my love for his game and just the way I don't care about his personality, whatever. I care about him playing. He's a great player. I like him. I like Shea, SGA, all these players I collect. I actually love. I love to watch their game. So if they take a hit, it doesn't really affect me because at the end of the day, it's what I like. And then if
Mhm.
they go up, it's a win. So for me, collecting's a win-win, and I feel that that's what I because I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I was like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too stressful. So I just went back to the basics, and I just went like that, just collect what I really enjoy, and it was a lot easier. You
That's the
know?
key. Yep. If you are collecting what you really enjoy, you're never losing. If you want a D Rose card, you go get a D Rose card. If you want a Westbrook, go by Westbrook. If you like Tony Parker, who I think is a
Hmm.
wonderful player, go invest in Tony
Super
Parker.
underrated.
That is very underrated. Probably I never would get the rating that he deserves, but I mean that to me that's the foundation of everything. And once you're there, then you start building off of that, and you're gonna be happy with what you have. That's what it's
Yeah,
all about.
and like you said, there's always a market for everything, right? Always a market for everything. So can you imagine somebody? There's a person that probably loves D Rose maybe more than you,
That's
a
right.
lot more than you. So you just got to be patient. I mean, that's the game is being patient. I mean, everybody wants to flip real quick, but at the end of the day, you got to be smart. You got to do the research, be patient, understand what you're getting into because there's if you don't know what you're doing and you don't do the research, it's gonna be a hard time coming back from that hole you dig yourself into.
But you know, it's just like anything, right? Because I talk to people, I ask people about the stock market. So if you're investing in stocks, right, you're going to do your research on the company. And you're not. I don't think
Of course.
I haven't met anybody personally. Let me say, who just went out and bought some stocks. You're going to do the research. And then another question I ask about that, like you say you like Kyrie. I may like Curry, some other players. I've never known anyone who invests in stocks to say, well, why are you buying IBM? Like, I wouldn't buy IBM. Or why are you buying Apple? I wouldn't buy Apple. That never happens on that level of investment. So why does it happen in cars? Why is there so much about why you investing in that? Or what, there's a lot of questions that go on that to me is like, wow. I've seen people in line paying $15 for an autograph of a basketball player that I may have never even heard of, but they remember that player from when they were a kid and how they won Sixth Man of the Year and whatever year, and they helped their favorite team win the championship, and that's why they stand in that line to get an autograph. Nobody's walking over to say, why you buying that autograph?
No, I think it's the way the questions are being asked. People take it the wrong way. I feel like if people come, it's always just the way you're approaching things in life. If you come up in a different approach, and then of course it's going to be a different conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I try to be open minded as much as possible, because when people tell me, oh, who do you PC, blah blah blah, I tell them Kyrie. The conversation always ends with an argument, just because what he's done. They think he's crazy, the vaccine, all that stuff. But I was like, man, why are you guys gonna ask me if you guys want to like bash me about
judge you, right? Yeah, just kind of judge you. It's interesting. That's interesting. The interesting fact of what goes on sometimes. So let's dive into the NBA trade deadline. I had a question before though. Hold on. Somebody asked me something about LeBron being. Here we go. Jordan says ATL car show coming up. Yep. And my goal is to get LeBron in your top 10. So let me ask you, JD. Do you have a top 10, top 25 NBA list of players? And if you don't, if you do or don't, what does LeBron rank all time to you?
So what are we? Okay, so this is where the conversation gets deeper than what people should. Anyway, so what are you going by? Their career accolades? Are you going by skill, or what are you going by popularity contest? Like, what are you basing your list on?
I'm going by skill. I'm going by strictly skill.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
This conversation is easy then.
Yep.
Skill wise, I think I can't name the top. Okay, my top 5 skill players of all time. MJ, no particular. Okay, MJ's number
no
1.
Order.
Kobe,
no order.
In order. Okay, MJ, Kobe. I think what's his name? The guy from the Rockets.
Oh, Olajuwon.
Olajuwon, super. I'm talking about skill. Okay, I'm not talking about athleticism. I'm not talking about anything like that.
Yep.
Those first three. Obviously, I'm gonna say Kyrie because he's super skill. Okay,
he is. His ball handling ability and his ability to shoot anywhere from that dribble is unmatched.
And then his finishing ability is up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4. I want to say Larry Bird's pretty skill. Okay. I guess that's it. But skill wise, I don't think LeBron makes my top 10 skill wise. If that makes sense.
Because that makes sense to me. Yeah. Whatever your opinion is.
I just think it makes sense. Yeah. No. I'm just saying, just because of like I thought I'm just gonna be honest with you. I thought LeBron, after he lost his athleticism, that was it. That was it, right? But unfortunately, luckily, he's a pass first player, and if you're able to pass at his size, you're gonna make it. And then
he's continued to evolve his game. Because I watched some film just last week of his second, third year in the league. Man, LeBron James.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Woo. He was just taking off from anywhere, dunking on people, shooting the ball. I mean, his speed up and down the court. He weighed less, like everybody does, like I do, everybody does. But he was on just unstoppable physically. It was
Yeah,
crazy to watch that because
and
over time you've seen him change, but to go back to his second year was like, wow.
but what about Giannis? How do you feel about Giannis?
I think Giannis is going to be a great player. I think he still has more development. He's developed since
Hmm.
they won a championship. He's going to continue to develop because he's hungry. He wants more. I think he's going to end up probably being top 5, top 6 all time before he's done.
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
dang.
I think Giannis is nice.
Um, real quick, one of my coworkers, he passed away. This is like 15 years ago, a long time ago. He told me this. He said, at the end of the day, LeBron's going to be in every top 10 category possible. And
Oh,
I
he will.
looked at him, I was like, dude, he can't even shoot. He can't even
Yeah,
shoot.
he
He can't
couldn't. He
even,
really couldn't
you
when he
know?
first came out. He
But
couldn't.
now look at him. He's in every top 10 category and he's just improving, improving. So I just think, man, like if you're just talking about like just the player overall, I mean, yeah, LeBron's up there for me. As much as as being a Laker fan growing up, of course you don't want to you don't want to be with LeBron because you got Kobe, right?
Mhm, mhm.
But eventually you just got to realize like, man, LeBron's really that player that could change a franchise. So I mean, but again, you know the World Cup. I just want to say this real quick. I don't know if you're, you know the World Cup, right? How it's
Yes,
hosted every 4 years.
yes.
So how they build all these arenas for that event.
Yep.
I kind of compare that to LeBron James, if that makes sense. If you know where I'm getting at, because he comes in, the Lakers they do everything they can to make LeBron happy. Bring in AD, bring in anybody. All right. Now look what happens when he leaves in a few years. It's done. Cleveland, Miami. Look at all that. All this stuff that they did for him when he leaves, it just they're
True,
just struggling.
true.
But
But
but yeah, like going back
I
to
answer the question as well. I have LeBron number 11 on my top 25.
11.
Number 11.
Who's your I just want to hear your top 10 real quick.
Oh yeah, I got it right here. I keep it handy, JD. Okay, then this is the order that I have it in. Mike Jordan number 1, Oscar Robertson number 2,
Mm,
Magic Johnson number 3, Kareem 4,
mm-hmm,
Kobe 5, Bill Russell number 6, Hakeem number 7, Tim Duncan number 8, Steph
mm.
Curry number 9, Wilt number 10, then LeBron.
Damn, that's not bad. See, I'm not dissing you about this, but you're able to watch all these players longer than I did. You have a better understand. You're able to watch MJ at MJ,
Mhm.
right? All I gotta do is watch YouTube videos.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, I
totally
understand.
different thing when you're watching highlights than watching it live. So that's why our
True.
list is totally different. But the fact that you're able to
Yep.
watch MJ, Kobe, and now LeBron, like that's you got it. You got into good era basketball. So that's
I
pretty
got
cool.
lucky, man, because I always say that I had a chance when I was born to watch some of the greatest basketball, football, boxers, and
Mm,
baseball players
mm,
than that have ever played in any of those sports. Had a chance to watch them do their thing on fight night. Like when Mike Tyson fought Spinks, my
mm.
brother, my father, and I were all in the living room. And my brother is saying Speaks is going to win. And my father's like, he doesn't have a chance. And Mike knocks him out in 93 seconds or something. I remember that night
That's
watching that fight. I remember also when Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas. We watched that fight. So we've seen had a chance. I've had a chance to see a lot of interesting stuff over time. Um, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to see it.
I know, man. But going back to the trade to the deadline. So are you surprised your Bulls didn't make a move?
No, I didn't expect for him to. I didn't expect for him.
Really? Why though? Just wondering.
Who are they going to get? That's going to improve their
Uh
team.
um, I think Kobe White coming back helps a lot of the depth,
Helps them out.
obviously.
Even losing ball, Kobe White coming back helped them out a lot.
Yeah, and people don't realize he was a first round pick 2 years ago.
Oh, he can play. If anybody's
He could
questioning
play.
that, he can play. He has an
I
outside
remember
jump shot. He
there's
has mid range.
yeah.
He can rebound. He can play.
I remember last year around this time, him and Zach Levine had like both of them had 30-point games.
Hmm.
He could play,
Yeah.
but um, there's and then I don't know if you heard, but they're saying Patrick Williams might come back this year. They don't know
Oh, I
when.
hope so. I hope so. Now that would be nice.
Yeah,
You talking about length right there, athletic ability? That would be nice.
especially that rookie you guys have. What's his name? The one that's been playing really well. Uh,
The one from
I
the
don't know his
University of
name.
Illinois? Well, which one?
Uh, I think he's a forward. I'm not.
Yeah, I think I
He's
know who
been
you're
on.
talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's playing well. But I mean, there's nothing really the Bulls really had to do. Is just they just got to play better. I mean, I think just going in the last 20 games, just go in there and just play their best basketball because they already got they already got their core, and the core's playing pretty well too.
Very, very true.
So we'll
We got a
see.
question here from Richard. I think is interesting. What's your guys' advice strategy on buying cars that keep dipping with lower eBay comps with each sale? My advice would be to have patience. Like right
Hmm.
now, I'm sitting here talking to JD, right? There are several cars that I'm just monitoring over time. I'm in no rush to do anything. I know in the hobby sometimes it's about FOMO, like you think you're gonna miss out on something if you don't make this move right now. I can't tell you how many things I've seen drop in price, or even before the dip, I found a good buy
Hmm.
on something just by waiting. Anybody that watches my show knows I always think it's a good strategy to go into a show and walk most of the show before you make a purchase. I mean, those are mini markets where you can take your time, use patience. You may find a great deal at the last table. I've done that before. You may see something you're like, wow, I'm glad I didn't make a purchase back at the first table because now it's something that I really like. Like that was on my list of to dos, but like
Hmm.
this is like top of the list. So I would say use patience, keep checking values and prices, and then learn the curve. If a card is going down and you start seeing it turn to go up, that might be your time to buy something.
No, I
JD, what
hundred
do you
percent
think?
agree with you. I 100% agree with you're saying. I think being patient is the biggest thing. It goes back to what we talked about earlier, just knowing what you're getting yourself into, understanding the market for that player or whatever sport you're going into. Realize that it might go down, it might go up, but that's the chance you gotta have to make. So you just gotta try to play the future. Say, okay, this player had an off year, that's why his prices are down. But maybe
Mhm,
there's a reason why. He probably
mhm.
got hurt. The system he's in doesn't fit him. He doesn't want to be there anymore. So there's a lot of things. But for me, is this when I go to shows, I already have my list of what I want to buy. All
Mhm.
right. I know the market already. I know where the comps are at. Um, and then you just go in there and you just execute. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Just
True.
know that they're always gonna have a counter to what you're gonna say, but
Yep.
just understand as long as you go in there knowing what you know what you're talking about, just go in there. Don't be afraid because sometimes those conversations you come back out, you're like, man, I hate playing that what if scenario in my head, right? What if I didn't talk to that person, that dealer? Maybe he would have gave me a better deal. What if
Mhm.
this? What if that? So when I go into shows, if I see something I like, I'm gonna do, I already did my research on it, so I already know where the value is at, or where it could be at in a few months. And I just talk to the person, see where they're at with the card, and and this is where the building the relationship is, because you never know, you might go back to that person. So just going in there, don't be afraid, understanding what you're getting yourself into, the market, and this unfortunately you gotta negotiate. It's like buying a car, but don't ever take things too personal because
No.
at the end of the day, you have to understand where the seller's coming from too. Okay, it's totally different. I've been on both sides. I used to sell. I still sell once in a while, and I walk the floor. So you got to understand where they're coming from, their margin, and so on and so forth. But just going there with a strategy, just knowing what you're going in there with, and just understanding the market, you'll be okay. And I understand that the comps, it's always comps, comps, comps. But sometimes you just gotta understand, like, okay, this is why they're doing it. But you the main thing is just understanding the market, understanding the card and the player and the value that they're at. And then from there, you make your best judgment.
So now what I try to do is challenge myself, right? Like you're talking about being a vendor
Hmm.
and going to a show and being on the other side of the table. So we got a episode coming out this week where I went to the car stock trading show, which I saw you at, and I
Hmm.
that Saturday we set up like 8 cards on the table and stood on the side of the person trying to sell, just to
Mhm.
understand, put my feet in the shoes of those who are selling. And we're going to do this a little bit more throughout the year, to understand what is that
Mhm.
like to learn. And that was a strictly a
Mhm.
learning day. And you know what's funny, man? When several people at the show, I told them that I was there to learn, and people looked shocked. Like they
Mhm.
would like, wow, you really doing that? Yeah, I just want to stand back here and talk to people and go through a negotiation process on the other side and just see what does it feel like? How's it going? Um, I had certain cards on the table, like I had Trey Young, I had Jaren Jackson Jr., I had Mbappe, had some other stuff. And I noticed just the age groups that were coming by to ask about certain cards. Like there were certain people asking about Trey Young. Then there were other people asking about other cards. So those are just some things I just started picking up on. And then what steps people went through when they wanted to talk through price. We had one person that went through almost the exact same steps that I did, which I don't think is too foreign for most people. Talk about the price, start talking about comps, then you go back to what's your price again and start comparing between your price and a comp. It was just good to see. I plan to do more of that to fully understand what goes on at a car show. You know,
Yeah, there's so much things that go into a card show that people don't realize. That you go in there as a buyer, you go in there as a seller, you go in there as a content creator like you, me
hmm
sometimes.
hmm
You go in there just as a collector. You just go in
hmm
there as a person that just wants to walk the floor, be around the vibe of the show. There's so much things that goes on in the show that people don't realize. They're
well,
stuck at they're still stuck at.
no,
No,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
sir. No, you finish up.
Okay. Okay, yeah, just people are still stuck at the buying and selling phase,
hmm
but they need to realize that there's more to it. But yeah, go ahead.
I got way more respect for doing comps on cards and sorting through what you want to buy, doing the pre work. Like we talk about the pre work as a buyer,
Yeah.
going in and understanding comps and from a buying perspective, and then what's your negotiation tactic? What cards are you looking for? Having a kind of a mindset of what you've seen, doing your research and what you're looking for. But just getting your table ready, understanding. I only took a few cards in, but I like to know exactly what the price of that card is and writing it on the back and um, understanding kind of like my range. What are some other prices I saw that card is selling at?
Hmm.
That's the stuff like I admire. I'm just gonna say this. I admire the people that I approach at shows who are very organized. Like there are some
Yeah.
people that are their price bins are very organized. They sorted this stuff by player. They've also sorted some others by price. They
Hmm.
can talk to you about a card that's in their case. They know everything about that card, population, price point, what year it came out, the rarity it is. Like LeBron. LeBron has some early Fleer cards. Yeah, I've talked to Wes King before at a show. He's breaking that down to me. What's the population of the card? One LeBron signed with Upper Deck. This is the last. When I see that JD, I'm just like, this is
Hmm.
my person right here. I love that. I get
Yeah,
excited.
no, I
And it makes me
100%
want to
see.
buy from them more. It makes me want to come by their table
Hmm.
more and see what they have just because they're organized. And we're not talking about price points. I've seen people that have price bands that are cheaper cars, but those cars are completely organized.
No, and that just goes back to like you said, the pregame, right? The pre work. Like you said, as long as you go in there knowing what you're buying, man, it's easy. It's easy, you know. You're going in there, you already have a idea what each card is, when they
Being
came out,
focused, man.
blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
You
Being
just gotta be you just gotta be focused because trust me, people are gonna be asking you questions like, hey, why is this price? Why is this card so expensive? Blah blah blah
focused.
blah. And when I talk to vendors that know what they're talking about, I feel more confident in
Yep.
making a deal with them. You know.
So now what Porzingis moved. We talked about Drummond moving. Who were some other players that I saw that moved today? I was kind of shocked.
I know Porzingis moved. Porzingis moved. Oh, what about the Kings trade yesterday with Halliburton?
Well, this is my question, right? And I said this to a few people yesterday. Supposedly Halliburton, I know he's young in his career. He started crying when he heard the news, and he said that I think they said that the organization had guaranteed him that he wasn't going to be moved. Everybody that's out there that's listening to this or will see this in the future, or anything like that, it's a business. It's a business. I
Remember
know
that.
we all go to work and we build relationships with people, and those relationships are are very good and needed. But if it's time to make a move personally for yourself, or the organization is going to make a move, you got to understand that's coming. And also, the second part is if Halliburton is the player that I hear people talking about him as, and the Sacramento Kings see him every day, why would they move him?
Well, I don't. First of all, I don't even know why they drafted him because you got
I
De'Aaron
thought the same
Fox.
thing. I thought the same thing. Mm.
I just feel like the Kings. I don't know. They had too many. The coaches. They just go like this. The GM goes
Carousel.
like that.
But they
Uh,
draft the
the
same players.
carousels.
They just draft the same
I
players all the time.
So that's my whole thing. You got De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hill, right? I don't understand why you get a draft. You get their first 2 round picks the last 2 years, guard, guard, guard. Why? You have De'Aaron Fox is probably the most best kept secret in the league right
Oh, he's
now.
nice. Left-handed too. Nice.
He's he's just give. I think what they're doing now is they finally realize we're just gonna build around him. That's why
Mhm.
they got Sabonis and all the
Mhm.
shooters now, and they had to get rid of Buddy Hill's contract. But I don't know. I don't know why I was surprised they traded him, but I was like, not really. Now if anybody was gonna get traded, it was gonna be him or Fox,
Yeah.
and they decided who they're going to stay with. So I can see why people are upset, but at the same time, I can see why people are not upset. They got good value out of it. We don't know what Halliburton's going to be. We know what Sabonis is already.
Yeah.
We know what Jeremy Lamb is. Justin Holiday, like we know what they're able to do. And I just think, and then they got rid of Bagley too. So I mean, I think they realize like we're just going to go all in on Fox, put him around the best players that possible that complement his game, and we'll see what happens. I mean,
Mm.
I feel like the trade is a win-win for both because they got that guard in Indiana, Chris DeWardy or whatever
Yeah.
his name is.
Yeah.
Super nice. Super nice. So I don't know, only time will tell.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep my eye on Halliburton. See how he's doing. So Henry A says, "Don't want to own base 2003 Topps Chrome LeBron PSA 10 and 2007 Topps Chrome KD PSA 10 sell. So Henry, you're selling these cards, is what you're saying. All right, I respect it. If that's what you see in your future, I respect that. Jason, I would definitely let you know. Let me know when you get Camden's 101. Love you, brother. If you live life to its fullest, you will never die. Rolling with FD. I appreciate you, Jason. I will definitely let you know. It'll be this weekend. I will let you know definitely. I'll send you a personal note. Let you
Mhm.
know. Marcus, Carmelo has always played good. It doesn't equivalent to win. You know, the only thing about Carmelo Anthony, I'm gonna tell you this. So I watched when he won a championship with Syracuse.
Syracuse.
I loved that team, loved him, was a big fan. So when him, LeBron, and Dwayne Wade came out, I was a big fan of Melo and LeBron. But LaMelo is a one-sided player, and that's an offensive player. Doesn't really play defense. Never really
Hmm.
has. I would, if I could talk to him, I would just like to know like why. Like you're 6'9",
Hmm.
almost 6'10". Why don't you grab some boards? Why don't you hit the paint and body up a little bit? Why? He reminds me of, now I'm not saying they're the same player, but Dennis Scott with the Orlando Magic back in the day with Shaq and Penny Hardaway was 6'9", 6'10", never grabbed a
Hmm.
rebound. Was always on the outside shooting the jumper, shooting threes. Carmelo reminds me of that. I just don't know why.
Yeah.
Just yeah. He could do so much with his
I don't.
game if he took it to the next level.
I just think it's the coaching. I think the thing is when he came in, people just gave him this label like you're gonna save the franchise. Whatever you want, just do it. But I mean, he kind of came in. I was like, man, he came in like I don't want to say he's a diva, but he kind of gave me like this persona, like either it's my way or the highway type way, and you could tell that when he left Denver and everything. But that's the difference between a player that's looking out for just looking out for stats and a player that wants to win.
True. Speak
You
on
know?
that. True. And as a
It's
collector,
true though.
so as a collector, we have to understand who is the player. If we're thinking long term on the player, let me say, who is this player? Do they score a lot of
Who's
points?
his
They'll
long
play on the other end. When they get to the playoffs, do they? Well, if they were averaging 17 and they're not scoring 13, who is the player?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't. That's the thing. You don't know. Like you don't know what the flavor month's gonna be in a few years.
That's a good way of saying it. That's true.
But
That's true.
it just goes back to knowing what it goes back to what we just talked about. Just knowing what, just going in there with the knowledge, the information, and just knowing what you're getting yourself into, and you'll be okay. I mean, I
Mhm.
always believe in if a player is gonna, you could tell by a player if they have it or not, just the way they walk on the court.
That's right.
And you just see, you just go, okay, LeBron got it, Giannis got it, KD got it, Steph got it. And from there, you just make the best judgment of how much time and invest money you want to put into them.
Mhm. And
So
another thing to think
it
about
all
too,
depends.
these young basketball players as well as football. Basketball, most guys are spending 1 year in college. So you don't like Giannis, right? It took him 6 years before he really was like, man, look at this guy. And some of these other players,
But that's the difference.
it may take 3 or 4.
But that's the difference though between football and basketball. Football is going to take a long time to develop
Long
because you
time.
got to get the body.
Yeah.
The body basketball, if you come in at least looking a little muscular, you'll be okay. You know, if you come in with skill, you'll be okay. If you come in with athleticism, you're gonna be way okay. But in football, if you come in, I don't know, I don't know the average, the size you're supposed to be. But if you're not coming at the correct size and the correct conditioning, you're not gonna make it. It's gonna be a lot harder. The gains faster. You might be undersized. You might be
Mhm.
overweight. There's so many things that people don't realize. People are like, well, basketball is easier. No, football. I mean, football is easier. I was like, no, man,
Oh, it's
football
not.
is a lot harder to be a. Football is a lot harder to be consistent, right?
Mhm.
Consistency, longevity. Football is just one of those things where if you don't take care of your body, you're probably out.
That's right.
You know, look at AP. Adrian Peterson, man, I'm surprised he's still able to play. Or Frank Gore. You know, Frank Gore has been playing for
Yeah.
like almost
And
20
you gotta
years.
think like Adrian Peterson tore his knee up and ran for 2,000 yards the next year.
Man, is this? And that's
That's
the
wild.
difference. And that's the difference between the player that wants to be great and the player that just wants to be in. There's a
True.
difference.
Very true. Very true. It's gonna be interesting to see what Harden does. I want to see if he hits the court motivated. Does he play hard? Uh,
I
does he
don't
get in
know.
better shape in the next 30 games for the playoffs? Or does this trade end up hurting Embiid? Because Embiid is like on his way to MVP right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
He's
I
playing.
just think I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what everybody's talking about, I feel like everybody's saying James Harden's reputation is not like it's not good anymore. What he's trying to do, like if it's not, he's a like what I see, he's a diva now. You don't like what's going on in Houston where they loved you, and Brooklyn they did whatever they can to make you happy, and you still leave. I feel like if he doesn't make it work in Sixers, I think that's it. You
Yeah,
know,
I would think
that,
it's
but.
pretty much done.
But I feel bad. I don't feel bad for him because he's putting himself in these situations, right? So you forced your way out of Houston, you forced your way out of Brooklyn. Now you got to make it. You got to make the best of it, and Philly, or else people are gonna start questioning you as a player. And that's the last thing you want.
Especially in the city like Philly. Those people are
Yeah.
not
Oh,
they're not
that's
going
the.
for that. That fan base is not going for that. So Porzingis went to the Wizards. I don't see anything happening there. I think that's
I don't
just a
see
move by
nothing either. I
Dallas to
don't think.
move this guy out.
Yeah, I think. I think Luca need. I think the Spencer Dinwiddie pickup was solid just because it's able. Luca doesn't need to have the ball as much anymore.
That's right.
I think what Luca needs is another playmaker that can make facilitate. Because if they keep doing what they're doing, Luca's going to be ran to the ground.
Ran
You
into the
know.
ground and hurt.
Hmm.
Sometimes he walks around
But
now. I notice he has his back taped up. Sometimes he walks around now like he has a back issue.
Yeah, he just Chicago with D Rose and my Thibodeau, how he ran D Rose to the ground, unfortunately. But it's just when you're that player and you don't have too much to work with, they're gonna ask a lot from you. And right now, Luka's in that situation where the Porzingis trade didn't work. He doesn't
And
have
then what is
anybody that
Luka?
could take over.
Luka's 23 years old, right?
I think
I
so.
think
I
he's
don't. I know
23.
he's young.
Yeah, I think he's 23 years old, and he's been playing professional ball since he was 16, something like that.
Yeah, he has a lot of miles on him. So he has a lot of miles on him, and I just think he just needs to. I think he needs more help. He needs more shooters. He needs another playmaker. I don't
It's,
think they need necessarily a big that posts up, but somebody that just like here, Luca, give me the ball for like half this quarter. Sit back and just shoot. He needs
well,
something
they
like
had
that.
somewhat of a big, let's say, like a JaVale McGee that could run the court and extend that defense on the fast break. I think that would be nice. They don't need like a traditional big. A lot of teams now don't need that. You don't
No,
need that 7 foot guy
they
that's
don't
running
need that
the court and
anymore.
posting up and calling for the ball. You really don't need that. And
No,
Dennis Schroeder went to the Rockets.
no, yeah, I don't understand. He messed up. He should have just took the money and called it a
Dude,
day. But
think about how much
it
money
is
he
what
lost
it
with the
is.
Lakers. Think about how much money he
That's
lost.
what I'm saying. He lost so much money, but now he's going to the Rockets. I don't know why. I think they're gonna buy him out because there's no point of having him when you got Jalen Green there.
Yeah, they're
Like
gonna move him.
why are you gonna
Yeah,
they're
they're
gonna
gonna get
put
him
they're
out.
gonna buy him out.
Yeah.
So he might end up with the Lakers because the Lakers were talking about they're gonna monitor the buyout market. So we'll see.
Yeah, I heard that today. I saw a few people on ESPN laughing about that. This Hero 3 said Pippen was a game changer for the Bulls Lakers championship. That's because people fail to realize that Pippen played defense on Magic Johnson that entire series.
Hmm.
Caused
Yeah,
Magic a lot of
yeah.
problems later in his career.
See, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything because
Oh yeah.
all I saw
Oh
was
yeah.
highlights. So
Oh yeah. We're talking about 91. 91 JD. I was sophomore, junior in high school when the Bulls first won. Oh yeah,
I was
bro.
barely out the
Oh,
womb.
loving that.
I was
Loving
I was
that.
like 5 months.
You had
Yeah.
Vlade Divac still with the Lakers, and we all knew in Chicago that was done. Magic Johnson was on the tail end of his career. Just give that ring up. Every time I drive past the Forum, I look over and I'm like, yeah, that's where they won that one. That's good stuff.
If there's a what if there's one player real quick before we go, there's one player that I wish I could have watched would be Isaiah Thomas.
You Isaiah
Like
Thomas fan?
I love Isaiah Thomas.
All right.
I've if there's one player I could watch back then, it would be him. I feel like he was the godfather of what the game is right now. Just the way he will play, his swagger on the court.
He played the point guard
He
position.
walked in like,
Yeah, he played the point guard position well. But I want to let you know, Ian's giving you mad love here. So Ian says, man, this guy's speaking the truth.
oh, I appreciate it, man.
And then Ian said he just gave you a
Thank you.
subscription, man.
Thank you. I really, man, me and FD been trying to get this going for a while. I tell him,
Yeah,
like,
and
man,
you
we
know
need
what's
to talk
interesting? So
sports.
everybody out there knows, like one of the first times we met each other, like he was talking about, we stepped to the side and just started talking about stuff. And it's very similar to the conversation that we're having tonight. Very similar.
Hmm. I told him, I told you, I was like, man, we should have recorded this whole thing. This would have been great.
Did say that. But we do have JD is doing more content, and I'm privileged enough to be a part of some of the stuff that he's doing coming up. So you'll see more of us having a conversation about different things. And we're always out in the LA scene, kind of at card shows, so we bump into each other a lot.
And yeah, the conversations is priceless. I'm telling you. If you guys could hear the stuff that it's not even just talk about the hobby, sports. There's always a lot about things that we talk about. It's just like, man, just the stuff that we talk about is just like, man, can you imagine people hear it? They'll be like, wow, it's deeper than it's more to it than what we think.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I try to take the content that we put out very seriously. I hope people get that vibe when they watch. It's nothing that's just thrown together. We go through steps to make sure that what we put out is the best thing that we can put out each time that you see it, and it fully covers a show. Like I like to go in the show and go from A to Z in that show, to walk each row, talk to people, find out what they're selling, what they collect, some things about them. And what I always wanted to do was showcase the vendors. Let people know what their Instagrams are, ways to contact them. If you saw something in the show on the table that you didn't see me purchase, or you heard me talk about, or you just saw as we panned the table, please get in contact with that vendor and let them know that you're interested in something that they have, or you collect this. And I'd like for y'all to have a kind of a bond, even outside of me being involved. You just see it in the show. And that's what we wanted to do from day one.
I 100% agree. 100% agree.
That's what it's all about. Sylvester says Wilt should be in top 5 when talking about skills. Only center ever to lead the league in assists. You know, one thing, Sylvester, my father used to always say about Wilt. You had Bill Russell at 6'9", and then Kareem came. Oh, excuse me, Lou Alcindor came later in his career. But Wilt also did not have a lot of taller people in the NBA. So he was very skilled, but his level of competition was a little bit different than. There was no Giannis running around when Wilt played.
No,
You always
it was a different time. Totally different time.
Different time. Just like George Mikan. I mean, George Mikan was dominating people. You know, different time. Yeah, Wilt is number one. I got a number of respect for Wilt Chamberlain. He kind of put the center position in the spotlight. I mean, he had savviness, and he had a certain kind of swagger about himself that's totally different than Bill Russell. So he kind of, and being in LA, he kind of put Showtime, and being in Philly, and then being a Harlem Globetrotter, he kind of put a lot of things came together with Wilt Chamberlain playing the center position. James Harden is a crybaby, but who isn't? Yeah, there might be a lot of crybabies in sports. Junkyard giving us his top 5: Wilt, Jordan, Dr. J, Kareem, LeBron. What's up, John Patterson? Love you. If there's any way LeBron doesn't pass Kareem all-time points, the way LeBron's playing right now, in the minutes that he's taking on, he could pass Kareem, or he could have an injury that just ends his career. He's taking on a lot right now with the Lakers. He's taking on a lot.
He's
you
one of the
look at his stat sheet. He is almost at a triple-double every night. Last night he had 30. And the best scorer next to him was AD with 17 and 7 rebounds. AD only had 7 rebounds last night. So LeBron's taking on a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll get to Kareem.
No.
He needs to average a lot of points for a lot of games still to get there. Can he pass Karl Malone? I believe yes.
Oh yeah, I think he's not that far away from Malone.
Yeah,
I think what he's doing is he's just pacing himself. He's just pacing himself.
Oh, that's
so
what
I think
does.
he'll be fine.
He's playing a few games, then he takes a game off, and so people can't come at him for load management. LeBron has a pulled hamstring, or he has an abdominal strain, or he has a sore back, like Westbrook last night had a sore back. When's the last time Westbrook had a sore back?
Yeah. So
it is what it is.
I don't know.
This person said the Bulls were told to tank. You think so, Marcus? Julius Erving in the NBA was as amazing as Jordan. Junkyard GOAT hunters, I respect that. He was an amazing player in the NBA.
No, I 100% agree.
Amazing player. Marcus said I'm scooping them deals. JD, I had some shows that I went to, and I didn't buy anything, right? I walked around, talked to people, and I value those shows, just so everyone knows, just as much if I went to a show and pulled out 8 cards. Sometimes you'll meet someone and start talking to them, or they'll educate you on something that you haven't even really been thinking about, or reprioritize something up on your list. Those things are always cool, those nuggets. Marcus says the market is becoming more and more cutthroat as money flows into given money comes in. Be intelligent, don't be confused, realize it's cutthroat. My advice to people is to think for yourself, right? Have your own lens. We talked about putting in research. I'm out a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people tell me, "Well, I'm buying this because XYZ says so." Just know for yourself what you're buying and why you're buying it. That
No.
simplifies some things. And then at the end of the day, you made the decision, so you can be happy with this decision. Yeah, Seth Curry to the Nets is an upgrade. That's going to allow them to have an outside shooter. I mean, he's a decent shooter, so they're going to be able to score in different ways than probably they were before. I'm going to be watching after this All-Star break just to see what these teams are doing. People fail to realize too. Melo played with Isaiah with AI, Allen Iverson, back with the Nuggets.
Oh yeah, they
Carmelo
made a
was
run.
playing with
Remember?
people. He's played with some people. Isaiah Thomas is a good player, but an underwhelming person. So Demetrius and I, JD, grew up together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're from Chicago. And Isaiah Thomas is from Chicago. But we saw a lot of Isaiah Thomas with the Detroit Pistons. A lot of Isaiah Thomas whenever someone mentions Isaiah Thomas, right? I was telling somebody the other day, I go through these memories of Isaiah Thomas. When Magic Johnson first contracted HIV, Isaiah Thomas made some statements about that. That is still comes up. People still talk about.
Mm-hmm.
He used to always make a statement in Chicago that Michael Jordan wasn't the greatest player from Chicago. Isaiah Thomas is. And then when Isaiah Thomas walked off the court when the Bulls put him out in '91 and didn't shake anyone's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, him as a player, I wholeheartedly, when I think of a point guard on a court, I think of Isaiah Thomas. But all the way around, he leaves like Demetrius and I with some things that we're like, yeah, he's an underwhelming person.
No, I 100% agree. But I mean, can you imagine if social media was around at that time? It would have been a lot blown.
Oh, I think
Blown
about a lot of
up a
players.
lot more.
And social media was around with Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, Jim Brown, Wilt Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Be a totally different thing. Yeah, Pip did lead most of his career in steals. Pip was a defensive stopper. When you talk about defensive stoppers, Scottie Pippen. Detroit was the bad boys of basketball. Bad boys don't shake hands. All right, Mambas. Bad boys also get remembered for that. That's how it happens.
Yes, sir.
Sylvester Boston says yes, but you can't say that. It's not his fault. If he didn't dominate, then people would put Wilt down. True. I agree with that. Imagine if the players back in their time could dribble the ball the way. True. If anybody's seen Bob Cousy play the point guard with the Boston Celtics, you know there's a change in today's game.
It's not even close. He was dribbling with one hand.
Dribbling with one hand with an open hand. Just.
Yeah. It's not even close.
So, JD, anything else you want to get into? I got plenty of time, sir.
I know, but shoot, I wish I could say, but I got the kids out downstairs.
I understand.
But yeah.
We'll do it again.
No, I'm telling you, that's why I had to make a good impression so you could, be like, oh, let me bring JD back. I was telling my wife, I don't know if I don't know you, Jess. This real quick before I get off. You know Jets Mamba, right? The guy, he's a YouTuber too.
Yes.
So I always believe.
Yeah, I saw you in his video.
So I was saying, yeah, we're hanging out. But I told my wife, I was like, man, I got, I'm gonna do live with one of the big YouTubers again. He said, oh, where's she at? Because I gave her my top 10 and top 5 YouTubers in the hobby. And I said, you and their Jets and everybody else. She said, oh, so you're not gonna be acting like a fan when you get on with them, right? I was like, no, like me and him had conversations already. But I just told her, I was like, when people reach out to me like this, I just feel really good. I have to come correct, right? If I don't come in correct, I might not get my opportunity again. So the whole day I was just, just reading a little bit about the trademark, just what happened today, and just thinking about what we're going to talk about. And I was like, I had to come in correct and make sure I know what I'm talking about. So that way, if FD needs like a replacement one day, he could just message me. I'm like, I'm here. Let me put the kids to sleep.
JD, your knowledge of it was always strong. I think anybody that's on this live knows that you watch sports and you know sports and you can articulate what you know about sports. From the first time I met you, I knew that. It's a privilege to have you on. And what I like about this is the first. In the past, my lives have been scheduled, so I know at this time on this day I'm getting on. This is the first time in the middle of the day I'm like, let me get on tonight. And I just talked about this just a few days ago. I think Monday night, I was like talking around here, and I was like, I should probably start doing more impromptu lives. Like there may be something that goes on in the news. I could come on myself, or I could have someone on. So when you hit me today, this was like, I was like, yeah, we're gonna get on tonight and have a conversation. There's a good group of people here. This is a good time, man. I enjoy stuff like this because I could talk about anything that goes on for a given amount of time. I enjoy it. So I enjoyed having you, sir.
No, I'm telling you, man. We could go on for hours. It's just the conversation the knowledge that you have from your perspective, everything you saw, and then mine is just like it's cool when you're able to combine everything together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So trust me, I really appreciate this. Like I said, I have to come correct because if you need a replacement one day, I gotta be ready. So I was
Yes,
like,
sir.
I'm gonna make sure I make a good impression. But like I said, I appreciate the opportunity. You know that already. I tell you that all
Yes,
the
sir.
time.
Yep.
Appreciate the work you do.
Thank you.
And I can't wait for that interview that we're gonna have in a few
Yeah,
weeks.
it'd be nice. It'd be nice. So everyone, I'm gonna be spending some time with JD next weekend. We're gonna have an interview, have a conversation. But we're gonna do this in person, so I'll be able to see him then. And then that'll come out on JD's channel, and you can check it out. But tell them where to find you. I don't want you to leave here without telling people where to find you at.
Well, I mean, it's easy. I try to make it simple as possible. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and that's at JD the Collector. I try to make it simple as possible. I'm working on my branding. Like you got your hat, I got my little hoodie going on. I feel like this year I have to do a lot better because I feel like I wear a lot of people's brands. People are like, well, why don't you wear your stuff instead? I was like, I never thought about it like that. So slowly working my way in that market. But like I said, follow me on Instagram, YouTube at JD the Collector. Me and FD have similar content. We have, it's different conversations. So I feel like we're in the same area. So if you guys enjoy his stuff, you probably will enjoy my stuff as well. So just check it out. I always say please because I'm always one of those people. I always believe in respect and everything. So if you guys could please follow me, give me some love. I really appreciate it. And of course, thank you, FD, for giving me the opportunity, the time, to speak my mind. Because most of the time, I'm the interviewee, right? I interview the person. So not a lot of people know that I kind of have a personality too. So I really appreciate you giving me the spotlight in this time.
Oh yeah, man, anytime, and we'll do more stuff together in the future. I mean, this is just the beginning of the stuff. I've only been on YouTube 8 months. Yeah, that's it. This is just the beginning, JD.
I've only been on for like 5 months.
There you go.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
We're the same boat, man. We're the same boat. Just to me, navigating through. I can remember the first shows that we went out and we knew no one, not one person, and just walking the show and just start talking to people. And I know for a lot of people, I always say this. I always want to say this. For a lot of people, that can be intimidating. You walk into an environment where you don't know anyone, and then starting conversations with them can be very intimidating. And for me, I always have before every show. It was the same way before every football game that I played in. You have these little butterflies inside, and it's not because you don't know what you're going to do. It's not because you're not prepared to do something. It's because of the unknown. When you go out and play a game, we had a coach in high school that told us, Coach Covington, rest in peace. I used to love Coach Cov, man. He was built like a bodybuilder, and he would always give different pep talks before the game. And he loved talking to me before games, and he would always say that you go out and play, that may be your last play, that may be your last game. You don't know. You never know what can happen. And I have the same philosophy when I go to a card show, right? I have butterflies. So for everybody out there who feels anxiety or a certain way before going to a show, know that I have some of that same thing going on. But I can quickly turn that into energy. even before when I get up to public speak, like if I get up to talk in front of a group, I got up one time and talked in front of like 1,000 people before.
Oh, wow.
I'm nervous before I get up, but when I start talking, I turn that nervousness into energy on what I'm about to say.
Mhm.
And it's the same with going to a car show. So if you're nervous, take it table by table, take it person by person. And if you go out and you don't get through that whole show, it's all good. If you talk to one person, 2 people that day, you've already won. Don't worry about the rest. It'll build upon each other. If you met JD or if you met me at a particular show, the next time you come out, go up to the people you meet that you already know, and then use their relationships to meet new people. And then before you know it, it starts building and you start knowing more and more people. And then the anxiety level kind of comes down. I walked the show with Julius a few episodes ago, and him and I was talking about the anxiety aspect and feeling overwhelmed by walking into a room of people that you do not know. Just break it off, take it piece by piece, table by table, person by person, and you'll do just fine. Keep it talking to the card. That's your common denominator. That's why we're all there, and it's all good.
Yeah. And the one thing before I leave is this: sometimes being uncomfortable is the best feeling that might push you to where you want to be
Speak
great.
on that. Yes, sir.
So I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm comfortable when I do my stuff, but I gotta do it because I'm doing it because I want to do it, and like it's something I'm passionate about. So don't be afraid. If you're passionate about something, go after it. Don't worry about what people are gonna say. Don't worry about if you're gonna fail. Just remember, everything's a lesson. Trials and tribulations. Just one thing is be confident and be patient, and just understand what you're getting into. And I always say everything's gonna flow. Just those three things, you'll be okay. Like you said, sometimes you just gotta be uncomfortable to be where you want to be in life, where you want to get in life. I'm sorry.
That's right. Put yourself out there, and
Yeah, don't
just
be
have
afraid.
fun with it.
Trust.
Don't be afraid.
Putting
But
up your
I just wanted to make that statement at the end of this because I think sometimes people may look at us and say, and other people that are like us and say, "Oh man, it's just so easy for them." A lot of times it's not.
is not is not. I wish we could talk more about that because I think that's important. But we'll save that for another
Yeah, it'd be
conversation.
another time. Before we
But
get out of here, I want to give a shout out to Michael Thomas here. Michael Thomas was the 100 subscriber contest winner
oh
of
wow,
Rolling FD. He's got he along with JD and several others are going to be a part of the after party, which is going to be a live directly after the Super Bowl. Where we'll get on and talk about things about the game, about things that we're thinking about collecting in the hobby, and whatever else we want to get into. It's going to be an open conversation, open flow. I want you all to, if you can, please tune into that. If you don't see it live right after the game, it'll be posted to YouTube and you can see it later. But what I wanted to do is get some of my favorite people together right after the Super Bowl so we can all enjoy ourselves and then have it devoted to the hobby. Different people. We're going to have content creators on there. We're going to have people that run shows. We're going to have collectors. We're going to have people that have never been on YouTube before, never been on live before, but they're willing to do it, and I appreciate them for it.
Yep, and I can't wait. Trust me.
It'll be fun, man.
Hopefully, don't worry. It's gonna be a good one. But like I said, FD, I appreciate the love every time, man. Trust me. One thing is, I'm gonna give everybody their flowers while I can, because people don't realize, like you said, the work, the time, the dedication, the effort we put into this, it goes unnoticed, and people just need to realize, like, as much as you guys think it's easy for us, it's not. It's not. But again, appreciate what you do. Appreciate you giving me the opportunity again, and I just hope we could continue doing this eventually, more in the future.
JD the Collector, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for getting on with me tonight. We will definitely do this again. I hope you have a good evening. Tell your family, FD and his family said hello.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right, brother.